Do you know why Python's benevolent dictator for life quit as the Python chief? Do you know what are the hottest debates that have gripped the Python community during the latest year? Python is a popular and widely used programming language, but as with any language, it has its share of controversial topics. In this video, we'll take a deep dive into some of the most debated and hotly contested topics in the Python programming language community. We'll explore 7 topics in particular that have sparked fierce discussion and raised questions among developers and coders. We'll cover the most contentious topic last, so stay tuned. The usage of indentation for blocks is one of the most contentious Python problems. While some developers say that indentation makes code simpler to read and comprehend, others find it inconvenient and restrictive. Another contentious issue is deciding between Python 2 and Python 3. The previous version of the language has been deprecated in favor of the third version. Many developers, though, continue to use Python 2 for a while. They did this because they have big code bases that are incompatible with Python 3. Some coders were so used to the earlier version of Python that the move was tough for them. Others favor certain features in the second version. In the Python community, the adoption of the global interpreter lock is another controversial subject. The GIL, or global interpreter locks, is a technique that prevents several threads from processing Python bytecodes at the same time, hence avoiding race situations and other threading difficulties. However, this implies that Python threads are not really concurrent and cannot fully utilize many CPU cores. Some developers argue that the global interpreter lock is a necessary evil for maintaining Python application reliability. Others say that it is evil itself, as it adds significant limitation that prohibits Python from being utilized for certain concurrent tasks. Another cause of disagreement in the Python community was mutable default parameters in functions. A default argument in Python is a value assigned to a function parameter if no value is supplied when the function is called. Default parameters might be mutable, like lists or dictionaries, or immutable, like numbers or strings. Mutable default parameters in functions are controversial because they might cause unexpected behavior if not handled with care. This is due to the fact that a mutable default parameter is created just once when a function is constructed. If the default argument is changed within the function, the changes will be retained for all future calls to the function. This can lead to confusing and hard-to-debug code, especially if the developer is not aware that the default argument is mutable. On the other hand, some developers find mutable default arguments to be useful in certain situations, such as when they want to accumulate values over multiple function calls. Ultimately, the decision to use mutable default arguments should be made on a case-by-case basis, taking into account the specific needs and requirements of the project. Similarly, the usage of classes and object-oriented programming is a polarizing issue, with some developers considering these features useful and versatile, while others believe they are too cumbersome and prefer functional programming techniques. Some individuals even think Python object-oriented programming is a joke. According to them, Python's OOP features are not as reliable as those in other languages. In other words, these functionalities are not as complete as those found in more pure OOP languages such as Java or C++. This may cause some developers to believe that Python's OOP is underdeveloped. Another contested aspect of Python is dynamic typing. Some developers consider this to be a significant benefit of Python, since it allows for more flexibility and shorter development times. Whilst others say it can lead to complex challenges and prefer the static typing of languages such as Java or C++. Some other divisive issue in the Python community is still the usage of third-party libraries and frameworks. There are several libraries and frameworks available for Python, and developers frequently disagree on which ones are the best to use. This might spark discussions about the relative merits of various libraries and frameworks. However, this is not unique to Python, as this type of reasoning is common in most other programming communities. Finally, the Walrus operator, which was introduced in Python 3.8, has stirred debate among Python developers. Instead of using a separate assignment statement, the Walrus operator allows developers to assign values to variables as part of an expression. Some developers consider this a valuable and convenient feature, while others believe it is confusing and unneeded. The issue over the Walrus operator is claimed to be one of the reasons Python's father, Guido van Rossum, resigned. We hope you liked this issue of 5 Minutes Python. Which side are you on? Do you prefer functional or object-oriented Python? Do you think the Walrus operator is a good idea? What do you think about mutable default parameters and functions? Share your thought in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe and share this episode and join our newsletter. Just visit faun.dev/join and join thousands of other developers. It's free. See you next time.